Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and these district judges want to play chess with President Donald Trump. Well, he's a 3D chess master, and they don't have a counter for this move. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. Stephen Miller announced yesterday that the Trump administration is considering, key word here, considering suspending habeas corpus. So, for illegal immigrants, what is habeas corpus? Habeas corpus means it's in the Constitution, and it means you cannot be detained without being charged. And you have a right to adjudicate that in a court of law. This is due process. However, during times of war, during times of invasion, habeas corpus has been suspended. There is precedent for it, and it can be done. President Trump says this flux of illegal immigrants is in fact an invasion that has been going on for years, and in order to fix that problem, he may have to suspend habeas corpus. This is a very tricky thing because habeas corpus is one of the, bedrock tenets of the Constitution and our law. But I understand where President Trump's coming from. If you're being stopped at every avenue by these rogue judges, then you have to do what you have to do to protect this country, because that, as the President of the United States, is your number one duty, to protect the general welfare, to protect the safety of the American people. And too many presidents have failed at this. And if it takes, in this case, in this very limited case, suspending habeas corpus for this one group of people who are not citizens of this country, that's important too. These are not American citizens. They're not even legal American guests. If they came here on a visa, if they're permanent residents, totally different story. They're not even here legally. They've broken in. They've broken into the United States. So if in this one particular case, in this very, very specific instance, suspending habeas corpus is what we have to do, then it's what we have to do. I want you to listen to what Stephen Miller had to say here, and let me know what you think in the comments.
Hold on, there's a question back there first.
I have two quick questions. First, President Trump has talked about potentially suspending habeas corpus to take care of the illegal immigration problem. When could we see that happen, do you think?
Well, the Constitution is clear, and that, of course, is the supreme law of the land, that the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus can be suspended in a time of invasion. So I would say that's an option we're actively looking at. Look, a lot of it depends on whether the courts do the right thing or not. At the end of the day, Congress passed a body of law known as the Immigration and Nationality Act, which stripped Article III courts, that's the judicial branch, of jurisdiction over immigration cases. So Congress actually passed, it's called jurisdiction stripping legislation. It passed a number of laws that say that the Article III courts aren't even allowed to be involved in immigration cases. Many of you probably don't know this. I'll give you a good example. Are you familiar with the term temporary protected status, or TPS, right? So by statute, the courts are stripped of jurisdiction from overruling a presidential determination or a secretarial determination on TPS when the Secretary of Homeland Security makes that determination. So when Secretary Noem terminated TPS for the illegals that Biden flew into the country, when courts stepped in, they were violating explicit language that Congress had enacted, saying they have no jurisdiction. So it's not just, the courts aren't just at war with the executive branch, the courts are at war, these radical rogue judges, with the legislative branch as well too. So all of that will inform the choices the president ultimately makes, yes.
Mr. Miller.